everybody, I'm Ryan, and today we're going to talk about the Pauper Metagame. And just a disclaimer, as with all of my metagames, this is technically a winner's metagame because Magic Online only posts top 32s of premier events, but it is still reflective of the overall metagame. Let's jump into it. So this is the metagame. At the very top, which is a little surprising to me, is Bogles at 14.1% of the metagame. In second is Grixis Affinity with 13.1%. In third, Burn with 9.1, sharing that spot in third/fourth with Golgari Broodskill combo. And in fifth is Mono Blue Fairies. Now, if you'd like to look a little closer at this metagame, feel free to pause the video, check out the graphics, etc., etc. Let's talk about these decks, starting with Mono Blue Fairies. The Mono Blue Fairies deck is pretty much the premier tempo deck of the format. You're playing a ton of very, very, very cheap blue cards to draw a huge amount of cards with things like One of Mind and Ninja of the Deep Hours. Get a lot of card selection with Enter the Battlefield effects, counter things. Sometimes those things are also threats like Spellstutter Sprite, and stop what your opponent is doing for much, much, much less mana. Our first deck in third/fourth is Golgari Broodskill, which is the premier combo deck of the format if you don't consider Bogles combo. What this deck is attempting to do is play Sadistic Glee and Basking Broodskill at the same time and then have something die, which will put a counter on Basking Broodskill, which will make an Eldrazi Scion, which then you can sack to itself to trigger Sadistic Glee to put a +1/+1 counter on Basking Broodskill to make a Scion, etc., etc. There's a lot of ways that this deck does the thing, but that is the primary combo. And then you have an infinite Basking Broodskill, you have infinite mana, and then you beat your opponent with that. The other deck in third/fourth is Burn, which is probably the premier aggro deck if you don't consider Bogles aggro. You are playing some bunch of very, very cheap creatures and burn spells to attack, go really wide with things like Goblin Bushwhacker, and defeat your opponent as quick as possible. I don't really have anything else to say about Burn. Mono red, man. In second is Grixis Affinity, which I would say is the premier control deck of the format. It plays a bunch of kill spells and cards that benefit from playing a lot of artifacts, like Affinity for artifacts, like for Refurbished Familiar and Mirror Enforcer. They sack artifacts that draw cards when they die, like with Ichor Wellspring, to draw even more cards and really just capitalize on having so many artifacts that you don't mind go away. To draw a huge amount of cards, play creatures for free or cheap, and use that insane card advantage to beat their opponents. And then the most popular deck in Pauper is Bogles, which it could be because they finally started playing Malevolent Rumble and they realized that made this deck very, very good because they can search out enchantments or additional Bogles. But this deck is so good. It also beats the crap out of the burn decks, where you play a hexproof creature and then you put a bunch of enchantments that pump it up, and then you attack with one huge creature and hopefully win the game. That's Bogles. It used to be decent in Modern, it's not anymore, and the Pauper deck is the most popular deck over the course of the past week. If you like this video of the Pauper metagame, please be sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.